The Mandalorian Chapter 4, Sanctuary, takes Mando and the child to a new planet and finally introduces us to Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano. As usual, we got plenty of references to the Star Wars universe. Here are all of the best Easter eggs from Episode 4 that you may have missed.
Stop touching things.
Those little neon creatures that the farmers on Sorgan harvest are Krill, and they have been mentioned in Star Wars lore before. While this is their first on-screen appearance, they were previously shown in the Star Wars Visual Encyclopedia. As seen in this episode, they're used to create the neon blue drink Spotchka. It's worth noting that Krill in the Star Wars universe are very similar to those that exist in real life, they just happen to be more colorful in space. There are lots of different types of droids in the Star Wars universe, but here's one we don't think we've seen before. Carrying those two baskets, this farming droid has very skinny and tall legs and is helping the farmers harvest their krill. On Sorgan, Klatooinians are attacking local farmers. This dog-faced species typically works as henchmen or bounty hunters. We've seen this species of alien before. Barada was the first of its kind to appear in Star Wars canon. He was Jabba's henchman during the time period between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. Additionally, there was Costas, a bounty hunter who worked with young Boba Fett, Aurra Sing, and Bossk during the Clone Wars.
You ready to lay low and stretch your legs for a couple of months, you little womp rat?
Baby Yoda is perhaps the most adorable thing in the history of space, and Mando comparing him to a want rat, one of the ugliest creatures this side of Batuu, is offensive. There's no way we'd be as excited to watch a show about that rodent.
But it's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
Here's your weekly dose of Twilek. Even though Sorgan is an outer rim planet with no spaceport and it consists mainly of farming communities, Twileks find their way out there along with a variety of other aliens. If you've watched Star Wars Rebels, then you're familiar with this species from the planet Lothal. It's a Lothal Cat, and this is its first live-action appearance. This is the first time we meet Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano. The one thing to note in our introduction to her is that it seems like she's still wearing the shoulder armor from her old shock trooper armor. Dune has been part of the military, fighting against the Empire for quite some time. She went in after the Battle of Endor to take down Imperial stragglers. She was a shock trooper for the Rebel Alliance and spent time after Endor protecting delegates. She's been on Sorgan for the past week.
How'd you end up here?
Let's just call it an early retirement.
There is a bounty on her head. It may be for deserting her post, which is what her early retirement could have referred to. Dune says that one of them, her or Mando, need to move on, and since she was there first, Sorgan is hers. While that may not make a lot of sense since it's a big planet, we've seen earlier in the series that some bounty hunters take on numerous bounties at the same time. It's just easier if those being hunted down split up, so it's not an easy target for those who have both of their bounties. Additionally, overall, that means less bounty hunters will be coming to Sorgan in general. While Mando talks to the woman in the Sorgan pub, he slips her some credits to get more information on Dune. However, the woman doesn't seem to understand this and thinks that he just wants a drink faster. It's pretty clear that while Sorgan is on the outer rim, they don't deal with the seedy underbelly of that part of the galaxy. This planet consists of loggers, farmers, and others who work the land.
I will get that broth to you as soon as possible, and I will throw in a flagon of Spotchka, just for good measure. I will be right back with that.
Stoke, one of the Krill farmers featured in the episode that seeks out Mando's help, is played by Eugene Cordero. The Good Place fans will recognize him as Pillboy, Jason Mendoza's best friend and partner in crime on Earth. While the farmers on Sorgan keep to themselves harvesting krill, they still know who Mandalorians are and some of that culture's tradition and ways. There have apparently been many books published about Mandalorians, which one of the Sorgans has read. The Mandalorian explains to the Krill farmer OMeara that he hasn't shown anyone his face since he was a child, but he does take his helmet off every day. OMeara leaves him some food, and this is the first time we get to see him take off his helmet. However, he does so just a few feet away from people who could easily see his face. This is not the way. Who is OMeara? We don't learn much about the Sorgan Krill farmer, but she sure knows how to shoot a blaster. We see her hit the same target over and over again. At some point, she may have been part of the rebellion. Sadly, there's no way to tell, as over the course of the episode, we don't get a lot about her backstory. It does seem pretty likely that she was a soldier at some time. Probably not a stormtrooper though, because their aim is awful. She's played by the actress Julia Jones, who you may recognize from the Twilight series as Leia Clearwater. How an ATST got onto Sorgan is anyone's guess, since in this timeline, the last time an audience saw one of these was on the moon of Endor in Return of the Jedi. As you can see though, there's a bit of wear and tear to this walker. The joints look a bit rusted out and someone put white paint on the nose of the cockpit. Another big difference is the red lighting coming from the cockpit as well. The official ATST Raider toy has a bit more flair than the one on the Mandalorian. There are more tribal markings, and it's apparent the legs came from different walkers. Mando's tribe is very traditionalist. While we've seen other Mandalorian tribes in Star Wars canon before, like Clan Ren, Mando's tribe cannot take their helmets off in front of other people. If they do, they can never put it back on. Compared to Rebel Sabine Wren, she just wore it during battles, and not even every battle she was in. In the closing moments of Sanctuary, we see an alien bounty hunter coming after Baby Yoda. The trunk-nosed alien looks familiar and could potentially be a Bravasian, but the show keeps the character mostly obscure during its brief appearance. However, it shows that Baby Yoda and Mando aren't anywhere near as safe as they might have expected.
Who's he tracking?
A kid.
Did you catch any other Easter eggs that we missed? What did you think of Chapter 4? Let us know in the comments below, subscribe for more Star Wars videos, and we'll see you next time.